This is the Violent Gentleman Society's Tommy Jackson.
I'm Payne, and this is our
Brit Rest Journey.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Wavy Roy Johnson here.
This is the professional Nathan Cruz.
Yo, this is man like Doris.
Hi, this is Tom Thurber.
This is Benji.
This is the Asian sensation Kanji.
This is the Nightmare Fuel Hassan Malone.
This is Joe Rage, the heavyweight classic.
This is Mad Dog O'Doherty.
This is Tonga.
I'm the Breaker, Carl Kingsley.
This is the infamous Cameron Solis, and you're listening
to
Broken but Glorious.
Broken but Glorious.
To Broken but Glorious podcast, because like me, you are head to toe a pro.
Hello and welcome to my Brit Rest Journey on bbgwrestlers.com. I'm Chris Lappin. I'm delighted to be joined on the line by two-thirds of the Violent Gentlemen, Payne and Tommy Jackson. How you doing this evening, lads?
Oh, good. Oh, how we doing?
I'm very well, thanks. Yeah, huge thanks for joining me this evening. It's been a... Yeah, it's been just over a year since the last time you were on, Tommy, I think.
Yeah, I think the first one was July, maybe.
Was it July last year? Wow, was that long ago?
Mid-lockdown. Quite crazy. But yeah, lots have changed in that time.
Yeah, because you'll tell us about you're developing this Violent Gentleman character during lockdown, so it's good to see how it's kind of manifested itself post-lockdown. How has your post-lockdown in-ring return gone?
Yeah, fantastic. I think from pretty much the word go, within a matter of weeks I was working shows, which came as quite a shock, to be honest with you. I managed to get on to Wrestle Island.
Was the Wrestle Island in Ellesmere your first, was that like the debut of the Violent Gentleman character?
It was, yeah. A lovely match with Harley Hudson, which was not something I ever expected to do. And to be honest, intergender wrestling, and I know that term's sort of frowned upon these days, but just being in a ring with a woman was something that I never ever thought I'd do. And we all know how tough Harley is. Like, she's on another level compared to a lot of men even. Her intensity, second to none, and as far as like a technician in the ring, she was great. And luckily for me, I managed to get one up on her and make her pass out. And,
that crowd hated you, but they'll love Harley within seconds. All the kids loved her. So when you elbowed her in the head to get and then choked her out, so it was just like.
He's a very friendly guy, can't you tell?
Yeah. And it is, I think a big thing as far as like the reason why I never saw myself having a match with a women's wrestler is because of, the sort of thing of a man hitting a woman, and especially in front of young children and stuff. And I know it's a show, but for me it was always something that I never really ever sort of saw past. You know what? I completely changed my mind. Because again, Harley is such a fantastic wrestler, and it was never ability that or anything like that, or that made me not want to wrestle a lady. But once the opportunity arose, and I sort of thought about it, I thought this could be really good for me. As far as getting heat and stuff, and it worked. The crowds. I don't mean to toot your own horn here, but that was probably the loudest the crowd was the entire day. So I'm Pete very impressed. So, and obviously he's had me back, so I must have done something right.
Yeah, definitely. So when I interviewed Pete, he said he doesn't see it as intergender wrestling, he just sees it as two wrestlers. Because when you see a Marvel film, you don't go, "Oh, Black Widow shouldn't be fighting men." That's the way he explained it to me when I interviewed him. So it's like,
that's it, and you know what? I think it sort of opened my eyes a little bit to that sort of side of wrestling. And then on the back of that, I was fortunate enough to work for TNT Ignition at the end of August, which was a really good experience. The match itself didn't go the way I wanted it to. The confidence took a bit of a hit on the back of that match, if I'm being honest with you. It just didn't go well at all. Didn't go the way I wanted it. And it was one of those things, it was a bad day at the office for me, and since then I've been on Superstar Pro a couple of times, I've been at Wrestle Island, and As I say, worked for WAW on the weekends. So, all round, I've had a very, very positive few months as far as my singles career goes. What I am most excited about is working with Christy and working with Lewis and, really, really sort of developing the group because that's something that I've wanted to do for a while now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, how about you, Casey? So you said that Wrestle Island was your return?
Yes, that was my return. That was a lot of it. Like, I think I was originally coming back to Wrestle Island, but originally I was going to be coming back as a babyface. So I've been a babyface, since I started there and pretty much since I started wrestling. So it started out like...
Yeah, you pretty much, you're very... I don't think, you've not had a match, have you? You just helped Gino a lot, I think, haven't you?
I've helped Gino a lot and the Rumble, that was about it really, but when I was talking to Tommy about this and he was like, asking me to join the group, and then once I was on board with that and he was telling me about the plan to wrestle, and I was like, well, we could make it make sense for me turning heel because, the story's there of like, I don't know if you ever remember the show where, Dean and I went to attack Pete's son.
Yes.
And, I came out with Jack Riley along with Pete to come and save him, as well as saving Gino as well. And I was like that, and then from then it was the Rumble, and then pretty much I didn't really do much after that. Like no official matches anyway. I was like, I can use all this as fuel to the fire to turn and heel. Why I would want to, because I haven't had the opportunity. In storylines with Pete, he hasn't given me anything. After I put my neck on the line for him, I get nothing back. It all makes sense.
Yes.
When that's all explained to people, because, after the show, when we had loads of fans coming up to me saying, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And I was even explaining to them saying, listen, I'm fully justified. And then when I get that time to actually, cut a promo on it, because I know we will get a time where we will speak our mind on it at Wrestle Island and it all makes sense. It's not just out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because you beat down Charlie Brennan, so they could do a similar story with him that they did with Billy Norton and the student union a while ago, where it was a group against one person. And if they wanted to use that to get Charlie to another level, or to use you, to get mega heat onto you because you're beating up this fan's favourite, mutually benefit both of you, just do the storylines like that.
Yeah, it's definitely got us a lot of heat since we attacked Charlie, because everyone was like, oh, good, this is good, Casey's come to help, and then at the end of them, we had kids putting middle fingers up to us. That was the highlight.
That was the highlight, 100%. Seeing that picture of that young lad sticking his middle finger up to us was... I can't imagine a better reaction than that. That's a dream reaction, and you heard the boos, you were there,
yes.
And that for us was sort of validity that we've got something, I'm a complete unknown, Christy's a complete unknown, obviously Casey's had a few interactions with Wrestle Island, but it was funny because I was speaking to Pete not so long ago about this, and he said, this is something that's sort of a half truth. It's of why we're, as a again breaking kayfabe here, but as a group we're so frustrated because we've been around a few years. I know that Casey and Christy have both been around a lot longer than I have. But, as a group where we feel that, we've not been given the opportunities that we feel we deserve. You've got the likes of Casey who, is an unreal athlete in the ring.
Yes.
He flies around like a cruiserweight, but can throw people around like a heavyweight. You've got Casey who is, Christy who's he's a technical machine in the ring, and myself and me. I'm the brain. Seriously, them two do the hard work. I'm the one that stands there and barks the orders. I'm getting better where I need to be as far as in ring work and stuff, and I've still got a long way to go, but. It's a very, very exciting time, I think, for all three of us, and we're very, very excited to see where it can take us.
This is Charlie Brennan, and you're listening to Broken but Glorious.
If we get back to Casey's, because if you want to hear how Tommy got into wrestling, we did do an interview with him last July, so I'll link that in the notes, but what prompted you to do the to get into the ring initially, Casey?
So obviously you can go way further back. Like what got me into wrestling was, weirdly enough, I think my uncle and my dad, they watched it a lot, and then also I went to this show which was in Liverpool Olympia, and it was like these wrestlers which they were dressing up as like the rest of the night, so The Rock, Stone Cold. They all dressed as that. But I was a 4-year-old kid. I thought it was the real thing. So, and then from that night, I was watching it constantly then. And then, so that got me into it, and I've been hooked ever since. And to get me into actual wrestling, like I'd always wanted to do it, but I just never saw where I could go, never found the right place, because it was the only one. I did go to, I think All Star once in like 2010 maybe.
Oh wow!
It was like Birkenhead Civic Centre. It was called. I don't know. It was called. I know there's All Star now. I think it was the same one. I don't know. But I only went there just had to look around, and that was it. And then I think it just never ended up going down. I just think there were just other things got in the way. I was still in school at the time and all that, so it just wasn't really fully focused. And then a few years later, weirdly enough, I was in my local chippy, and then I see a flyer for a wrestling school. So the wrestling school that both me and Tommy started off. So that was around, I saw that in about middle of 2016. I started there, like late 2016, and then from then I was hooked. After the first session, even though it was like scary meeting new people and like you feeling like you're gonna look like an idiot because they all know what they're doing and you don't. But you just, over time, your confidence just rises up and rises up. And to be fair, a lot of the people there we train with, the likes of Harry McKenney, Freddie, Robert Riley, the likes of them, they all just help boost your confidence. Like, you know, just the support there, and it just helps you to get better and grow. So, and then from then on, it's like, as soon as you get put on a show, that was the scariest part, but as soon as you get through the curtain, that's it. You just love it.
Did you have an idea of a character you wanted to like develop when you started training though? To
be honest, not really. Being honest, I'm sure a lot of people probably didn't have some people do have ideas, but me, I had no clue. I remember I got given we have to doing promo time, and I was terrified of doing promos. Just scared to start, you know, stuttering and just messing up your words and looking like a fool, even though no one really, you know, takes the mick out here. It's just, you're just scared. And then the name just came from nowhere. Like, so Payne, I think about the last names I was thinking that was cool was either Pulse or Payne. I don't know why Pulse, just it was there. And then Payne was because of Max Payne. I just thought it's the way it's spelt is cool and it sounds cool. But I couldn't think of what the first name was going to be. And then my cousin, his name's Casey, and he writes his name on his socials as the letters K and C. I went, that's kind of cool, Casey Payne. That sounds good. And also down the line, I can figure out what the names stand for if I ever know. So, I still don't know what they stand for yet, but you know, it gives me options to mess with the name in the future.
So how's the character developed?
2016. So 2017 is when I started on the show. So I was really just a good guy who fights for the right thing and all that kind of stuff. And then it's slowly developed a bit more. Like, it became more, well, you know, I do stand up for the right things and I'll kind of just go to war with anyone. I was just there for the big fight. And then since I've starting to transition into this heel thing, I haven't really got too much into it since I've only just turned heel. Mm-hmm. I have ideas for the future, so how my character's going to develop and like how I'm going to be more ruthless and stuff like that. A bit like, I'm going to take a few things out to like Pete Dunne style, to be honest. Like, you know, be a bit more, well, I'd say more joint manipulation, that kind of thing. And also the way he carries him, he's not like, he can speed it up, he's dead quick in the ring, but a lot of the time you'll see him, especially when he's got heat on his opponents, he's just dead slow, calm and collective. And he's there just, you know, he lets the fans get to see everything that he's doing, where he's twisting the joints back. I don't know why I'm doing this physically when you can't see what I'm doing. But, you know, he's there, and, you know, the fans it gets to register with the fans, because everything's, you know, it's slow enough time for them to register. It doesn't need to be dead quick. I just like that. I can't think of the word, but it's like, just basically slow, calm, and collective. I just want that style, but I can't remember the word.
So tell us a bit about the history of the team. So when did the three of you meet, and how did you come up with the idea of forming the team?
Tommy, do you want to go, Tom? Okay, go on, Tom.
Yeah, so basically it's obviously an extension of my character. It was, we all met, so we all started at the same training school. And I think it was sort of probably this time last year. I thought, I was sat with my wife and I thought, how cool would it be to have a group of people with the same ideology, the same goal, you know, all dressed well and, you know, just being nasty.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But could also easily transition to a face team, but still be nasty. So very much like the in-between. Never going to high-five any fans, never going to throw a smile at fans, that'll never be, if we're ever booked to be faces, we will still very much be the same people we are. Just people will cheer for us instead. But yeah, so I reached out to Christy sort of, I think it was early this year, because I knew that he wanted to sort of expand his horizons as well and sort of try and get onto, a few more shows and stuff. So I just said to him, feel about it. And, he was like, yeah, it sounds great. And then it was when Claw started up, wasn't it?
On July, June.
Yeah. And I was thinking who'd be a great sort of big guy. And I was like, Lewis. So I reached out to KC and sort of pitched the idea. He loved it and we filmed that vignette.
Yes.
And in my mum's pub, which is always a good little plug there for the pub.
Yeah.
Red Admiral and Runcorn. Yeah. 2 for a £5. I'm joking. And yeah, and that's sort of, to be honest, as soon as we posted that, we had quite a few promoters reach out to us, and Ian one of them, and again, I won't reveal all just yet, but there's a few others as well in the pipeline. So
amazing.
That's going to be an interesting couple of years, I think, ahead for us. But yeah, it was just sort of something that sort of developed out of the idea of my character, and it's great being able to work with two insanely talented guys, and they're helping sort of my dream whilst helping their dream become a reality, and it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, because my next question was going to be, are you like a Wrestle Island exclusive team? But it sounds like you'll be.
No, we'll never. If any other promoters out there want to book us, we will definitely turn up, do a job, whatever it is you need us to do. It's one of those things that we hope will take us up and down the country. I'm speaking, I'm sure. Casey will back me up on that. It's
I agree, man. I'm on you. Go on.
Yeah, we want it to be really, really, big. And I think it could be with the right back and the right storylines and things. And that's quite important. I think, when you're running a gimmick, you need to have a story running alongside it. And Wrestle Island is a fantastic place to help develop its characters and its storylines and stuff, and that for me is why I love professional wrestling. I don't love it for the athletics and the flips and all that sort of stuff, and and I'm not against that either, but a good story when I was growing up was what got me hooked.
Definitely. So what's the dynamic of the team going to be? Is it going to be Tommy's the leader and Casey and Christy are going to be a team, or are you going to be three singles wrestlers who like a Shield dynamic where you just support each other as single wrestlers, or we just?
It'll be all of the above. We'll work as a 6-man tag. We'll work as tag team, and that can be a combination of any two of us. And also run as singles. We won't ever pigeonhole anybody. If, for example, Pete wants to run with KC as a challenger for a title, absolutely, we'll be backing him in that way. And I imagine we'll be running amok, whatever it might be. But
yeah.
Yeah, you'll see us doing some run-ins and some nasty stuff along the way, but I will never, just because it was my idea, I wouldn't necessarily say, I'm the leader of the group. We're very much equals, and I think because I'm the violent gentleman, it's automatically assumed that I'm the leader and stuff, but it's very much the individuals on the same level playing field.
Is there any, maybe not even wrestling influences, is there any influences from the pop culture, or any tag teams that you are taking influences from?
So, not really. I think, the character itself is very heavily influenced on, because again, even compared to where we were last year when we had our talk last year, it's changed much. I think the obvious comparison for us is Peaky Blinders.
Yes, I can see it.
A lot of people are making that comparison, and it's a great thing because it is so unique within the wrestling world. There isn't a team out there that's done that before. So I think I know British Strong Style had a hint of it when they first started out, but that soon changed very quickly. And I think for myself anyway, it's going to be something that we're not going to be making direct comparisons to Peaky Blinders. We're not going to be referencing Peaky Blinders in promos and stuff. But what is, the style and stuff and the sort of pack mentality of them will definitely play a part in what we thought. I'm not sure, Casey, if you want to mention anything.
Yeah, no, man, you can definitely see the parallels there, like this, as I said, mainly with the style. A lot of the physical aspect of what we do, I don't know, I see little bits of Imperium, like what we have going on, do you know what I mean? I know we haven't had any matches yet to the style, but like how we present ourselves, I think we could be a bit like Imperium, like there's parallels there.
I can see it. I mean? Yeah, I can see it.
I also like to think of them as a bit of a shield dynamic as well. You have, I like to think of AC as the Roman, you've got Christy as the Dean and me as the Seth.
Yes.
We all bring something to the table and we'll all be learning from each other. It's going to be very, very interesting and December can't come soon enough, to be completely honest. I'm super excited for whatever.
Hopefully you being the Seth doesn't mean you're going to turn on us.
But not, too much waste into this at the minute to be saying that. Just keep me away from any Steelers shares. We'll be alright.
I can't wait for the 19th. I think that'll be my next wrestling show. I don't think I can afford them. I want to save up for Christmas and stuff. So it's like,
it's going to be a very, very special occasion for everyone. I think it's going to be a hell of a night or a day, should I say. But yeah, it's going to be very special.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this red light, green light match being out yesterday is going to work. Sounds interesting.
For that one, I think that's going to be very interesting to watch.
So who are you hoping to feud with in the near future? It doesn't have to be within like Wrestle Island. Do you have any dream feuds? Any factions out there you'd like to go against?
I'd like to see us face the Billington Bulldogs. I'd like to go up against them. Especially, I know there's 3 of us, but then we probably need 3 of us.
I've seen them 2 train, they're absolute machines.
Yeah, I just like because I've been in the ring with Tom, and he's Thomas Billington, and he's really the physical style. Because I think we were just doing a heat drill, and then somebody else basically receiving heat from him, it was fun. It was fun, but it'd just be good to have a match with him. So I think as like a tag team dynamic, no matter which 2 of us it is, it'd be good to go up against them.
Yeah, that'd be a great match. There's something I really want to see live. I've only ever seen them on YouTube or when Superstar Pro put their stuff on Facebook. Yeah, they look amazing.
The Merseyside Merchant Squad, I think that'd be quite a good match.
Oh, yeah. I think also the Rejected as well, if they get back together.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be fun.
I think that's something that was a lot of people after the show, after Wrestle Island show, were coming up to us saying, we'd like to see you face the Rejected. And I personally would like also that match as well. I think, between the 6 of us, we could create something pretty special, and especially if, they do want one more match, I'm sure they'll have to lay the Rejected to bed if that's what they wanted to do. I've been in the ring with Ryan and Phil before, so, I definitely think that would be a great way to sort of, if that's the end of the Rejected, I think that would be a great way to sort of send them off.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know, any free synergy against you would be fun as well. That'd be an interesting dynamic, just how big they are.
Yeah.
So if you do a storyline where you're the big bullies and then Synergy come in and they're just Synergy, so it'll be like a role reversal type of thing. I think that'd be really interesting.
And they're great lads as well. Obviously I got to work, meet them at the admission show at work, and they were really great guys. So, I'm sure that, if that was ever happen, that'd be very, very interesting.
Yeah, they're great guys, yeah. Except our Isaac is terrified of Anderson. I don't know what, just see, cause he's a heel at TNT, he's a bit creepy, a bit of an arsehole, and he just finds our Isaac in the crowd, just, points at him and looks at him. He was in tears last time. It's
Jeez.
So Made to Last said they're gonna beat them up at Pro Wrestling for You when they got a match in a couple of weeks for Isaac. Right, so if we go slightly serious for a second, so last June we did have the Speaking Out movement. So now Brit Wrestling's returned, how have you found the atmosphere in the dressing rooms and backstage?
I think it is, to be fair, like, I've only been at Wrestle Island, so I don't have as many as Tommy would be able to see, but like, I think it was quite positive, to be honest, I thought. I thought everyone was really nice, and everyone was a lot more, like, a lot of times, before all the Speaking Out movement, you'd had a lot of times where there would be cliques. You'd have people, you'd see 3 or 4 guys there, not talking to anyone, 4 or 5 over there, 4 or 5 over there. Now, a lot of times, everyone's going to each other, everyone's talking to each other, everyone's, all chatting to each other, everyone's more comfortable around each other. It just felt like it was a more positive vibe. Like, some of that's got to be down to the Speaking Out movement as well as it being down to, like, everyone's obviously buzzing that, pro wrestling's back. Everyone gets the shows are back. But I think that's it's definitely, Speaking Out has definitely got a lot of the wrong people out of the dressing rooms as well. So,
yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely helped a lot. And it was a good vibe when I was there at Wrestle Island, and I feel like a lot of the other locker rooms that I'll be going to in the future will have a similar vibe.
I agree.
But Tommy, you've been in a few more locker rooms than me recently anyway, so you'd have a better idea.
I definitely agree. I think I had limited sort of experience with external bookings prior to Speaking Out, so me getting it was sort of new anyway. Like, I'd only had a handful of bookings outside of the training school. So for me going in, it was nice, and I've always been quite an approachable guy, and I always easy to make friends and stuff. So I always introduce myself, shake hands, say hello to anybody anyway. So going into these locker rooms and stuff, it can be nerve-wracking, going in as a new guy and not really knowing what to expect. But it is such a nice feeling. I think a lot of people now as well are thankful that they are able to wrestle.
Yes, definitely.
So I think people are generally more positive. There's going to be drama. There's still going to be fights and arguments and stuff, and that happens. We're human. But what is important is that people feel safe. And it's no matter if you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter who you are. You've got to make sure that you feel safe, and the companies I've worked for are very, very positive in making sure that, the changing rooms are segregated and things like that. And everybody gives courtesy, to everybody, no matter who it is. It can be the ring crew, it can be the ring announcer, the referees, the talent. It could be anybody. And, that's something that, as a human, I think I've been brought up to give that. And, it's, especially sort of starting my career very late on in life, it's not something that I really like, the high school drama, but it happens, and I don't think that'll ever go away. But what is important is that, those people that were called out are kept away from wrestling and as far away from wrestling as possible. And that, there has been a few crawling the way back in over the last few months, and which is disappointing to see, but, they're gonna try.
Yes.
But long as you've got companies like Wrestle Island and TNT and Superstar Pro and BWP, those guys are doing the checks and doing what they need to ensure that people are, supported in the right way, and that those people aren't allowed back into British wrestling, and I think that's important that that's maintained.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think that behaviour would be tolerated from not just wrestlers, but I don't think you could be a bad promoter or a bad training school anymore. I think it's like when I don't want to name the company, but when the Northwest-based company sacked Harley Hudson for asking about safeguarding. But then the whole roster just went no and left. You had to find a whole new roster because they all supported their friend, and I was like, I thought that was amazing.
And that for me is like, it's, you see, even we've been in this experience where, we've been promised, this show and that show and things like that, and then companies all of a sudden, apparently even this weekend, there was a company that had a load of people booked and didn't communicate that the show had been cancelled, and then just went off the radar. And You know, that's the thing, is that there is going to be people that try to take advantage of, you know, of wrestlers, you know, but it's one of those things that, you know, for the every one bad company, there's 10 good companies. There is work out there, and it's just, as long as we keep together and we support each other, you know, like, look at Harley now. She's everywhere, and deservedly so. You know, I believe she's at Future Shock in a couple of weeks, which is unreal for her. You know, she's been on TNT, she's wrestling on Superstar Pro, she's doing, I think is it LWF?
Yes, yeah. She made her debut at the last show, so I think.
That's it, and that's again, shout out to LWF if you're interested in a three-man team, give us a shout.
Yeah, she's in the Wrestle Island Power Up Briefcase match this Saturday.
Yeah, the Extreme Fields TNT.
Yes.
That's it, that's again, it's another massive opportunity for us, so, you know, it's great to see the people that we started out with, who are prospering and rightfully so, and it's about time that people, the likes of Harley and, you know, as much as I hate saying this, Lance Rivera getting the booking. You know, it's one of those things, you know, because again, James is another one. He's super talented and has been slept on for a long time, and I think he deserves to be getting about. And another close friend of ours, Brian Aidenson, is getting about, and you know, it's great to see all these people that, you know, even after all the stuff that happened last year with our school closing and stuff, that they haven't given up, and you know. The Labour are now starting to come to the fore, and that's really nice to see.
I'm loving Brian's team with Simon Miller at TNT. The way they're amazing together. They tag each other, they slap each other on the head. Yeah, and so somebody I wouldn't imagine in my head automatically putting together, because the only thing they seem to have in common is the ball. But it works. I love it.
It's great for him, you know, to have that sort of level of exposure as well. You know, obviously Simon Miller is a big personality on YouTube and stuff, and you know, it's getting his name out there, and he deserves to be where he is. You know, all the work he's put in, but as I say, hopefully we won't be too far behind. Hopefully.
This is Brian Aidenson telling you to listen to Broken but Glorious podcast.
Right, so KC, if you're a promoter for a day, promoting a show, if I give you using wrestlers you've either worked with, trained with, wrestlers are associated to you in some way, if I give you a match type, you tell me who you want to put in that match?
Yeah, awesome, let's go.
Yeah, and as it's your show, every match can be intergender, every match can be triple threats, multi-person. There's no budget, you can throw as many people in each match as you want. But Tommy did it last year. Do you remember your card, Tommy? Do you want to hear it? Or should we try and update yours?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, we'll probably... What we'll do is go through Lewis's and Casey's, and then we'll go through my updated card. Go for that.
So, yeah, cool. Okay, so Lewis, Casey.
Whichever way you want to go, Casey. Now it's good.
Casey, who'll be your opening contest with the crowd excited?
I was thinking of, not to toot my own horn, just because I didn't want to be that guy who puts myself in the main event, but I was saying, could I include myself on this?
Your card.
Oh,
Tommy put himself in the main event.
Oh, wow. Well, what I was going to go with, and it was something we talked about earlier, because I think sometimes you want a good curtain jerker, which will get the crowd going. I think if you did do the Violent Gentleman Society against the Rejected as the opener, that would really get the crowd going.
Yes, that'd be fun.
So that would be my opener, because I just feel like that would really get the crowd going, and especially that, you know, well, depending on where it is, but if it was at Wrestle Island, for example, you know the crowd's going to be hot for it, just because of how much we're hated, and how much the Rejected are mostly liked, even though they should be hated for all the things we've done.
They've got a Rejected section at Wrestle Island.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, I think that would be a really good opener. I think that would get the crowd going, keep them hot.
Yes. What about a comedy match?
Comedy match? Oh, I don't know. For a comedy, because I was thinking of comedy spots wise. I remember a match from a while ago.
Yes.
And it was between Lance Rivera and Robert Riley, and they ended up having I think it was a street fight or I think it was a street fight, and they ended up doing the spot where they had the weapons in bags. So you had Freddie, Robert Riley, he gets out of his bag and he has a cricket bat in his. Lance Rivera goes, he's got a duster in his. You know, big stuff. So that's what I was thinking of comedy spots wise, but I wouldn't use those guys for a comedy match. I feel like those guys, they'd rather just have a full on war if I was gonna, which, to be fair, I might put them on there at some point. That might be a spoiler for later on. I'm just trying to see the potential for a comedy style match from the people I've worked with or trained with. So you might have me stumped already there.
Doesn't have to be comedy wrestlers. You can maybe have one comedy wrestler and a straight guy, or
yeah, two what we could do. Like that, Mr. Williams, I know he could put on a good comedy match.
Oh, he'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So I think I'd throw in Mr. Williams, and it would be fun to see Mr. Williams get beat. He would be beating them up. That's basically the comedy is going to be. I'll tell you what, I'd love to see Mr. Williams get chopped up a lot by Gino Ramsay.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Him finding all different weird ways to try and avoid getting chopped.
Yeah.
I think you could definitely do something funny with that. And eventually, he's going to get chopped in the end. So I think that could be a weird comedy match. It wouldn't be a full-on comedy match, but it'd have those comedy spots of Mr. Williams trying every single dastardly way to get out of getting chopped by Gino, and eventually it happens.
Yes, just get the crowd wild by the end.
Oh yeah, you should build it up.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Women's title match?
Women's title match, you can't not include Alexis Falcon on this one, can you? She has to be, at least, she has to be one of the people in this match.
Oh, I've loved following her career over the last 5 years. I just how she went. She was quite, like, I won't say she was the shy one in the Rejected, but when I first saw her, she was quite quiet in the Rejected. By within a year, she was the main person in the Rejected. And then, just went off. Now progress, now everywhere, just like.
Yeah, she's smashing it. She's just done so much in such a short period of time. And it's really inspiring, to be honest. You see what she's done, and it just shows that, like, she come from the same place I did, and it shows that if she can do it, I can do it. Like, she's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And going from, because I know these guys have put on a solid match because I've seen them both wrestle. I think they've wrestled each other at Wrestle Island in forms as well. I'll probably go with Lucy Sky.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know them too. They every time I've seen them wrestle, they always bring it to the table, and a women's championship match between them two that'd absolutely be amazing. The crowd would love it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think Lexa said her Lucy Sky was her first ever match. So that could be a nice full circle type of thing. So.
Yeah, after all they've been through, and there they are for the women's championship 1-on-1.
Definitely.
Because every time I watch them, they have knocked it out the park, and I know they do it again.
Okay, hardcore extreme rules style stipulation match.
Let's see who we got. Running out of the people on the list here. Or then again, I could just go for the easy option just because I've already kind of mentioned it. But I don't know, because watching that street fight between Lance Rivera and Robert Riley years ago, that was great.
Yes.
So that might be what I'd go for, because I might know it'd just be a really solid match. And like, I remember there was a match that I don't know if you ever saw it, where it was Robert Riley against Jack Sinclair, a good friend of Lance Rivera's.
Mm-hmm.
They had a bull rope match, and then what they did, this spot where they had the bull rope was then like tied over the corner post, and so you had Robert Riley swing around the corner and drop kick Jack Sinclair. It was really innovative, and it was really cool. I remember joking with Fred after that, saying to him, like, if I did that spot, the rope definitely snap on me. You're like, what are you like 190? I'm like 270. Yeah, that wouldn't happen. But yeah, I think it'd be them two work amazing together as well. So I think that'd be a really great match to watch.
Yeah,
they could definitely.
I'm really gutted I've never seen Robert Riley live. I've seen him as Frederick. Yes, Frederick. Yeah, but yeah, I've only ever seen him on YouTube as Robert Riley. So I'm just hoping, because I've heard he might be retiring, he's taking a break. So
hope to tempt him back. Tempt him back in the end.
Yes, come back as Robert Riley. A mid-card title, your workhorse match.
Workhorse match. Who have we got on here for the list? I'm probably going to run out of people by the time we get to the main event. When I think about it, of the people I've listed down on it. But let's see. We'll go with Lance's friend Jack Sinclair.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because like he was one of the last matches I had, a singles match before. Like we had the tag team match in the main event, and he's just wrestling with Jack. It's just so easy, and like everything is just so smooth. We just mesh really well together in the ring. And like he's like that. A lot of people said the same thing about Jack. That's how he would work. And I think that would get the crowd going, especially because you could do it for the underdog story if you had Jack as the champion.
Yeah.
You could throw with Charlie Brennan in that scenario.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because I know the crowd would be so behind them, and you could really build on it. Because Jack's so smooth to work with. We haven't wrestled Charlie yet, but that's going to happen.
Yes,
it's going to happen real soon, hopefully. Yeah, so I think them two could have a really good match, and you'd really get the crowd on Charlie's side for that.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Your tag team title match?
A tag team title match. Have I run out the names? I don't think I haven't. I've got the Billington Bulldogs here.
Yes.
So I've got to throw them in straight away. Question is, who would have put them up against?
Who had a match?
What?
To do Merseyside Merchant Squad. Right.
Ah, yeah. You know, that's a really interesting bout, that, to be honest. I'd love to see Dan Evans and Scott Overman go for
that'd be amazing.
Now that you've said it, you know, that was a little suggestion from my special counsel there, Tommy Jackson.
If you had the thought, that would be a barnstormer for a tag team title match.
That'd be amazing. I'd love to watch that.
Got to throw that in there. That's actually, now, you've got the imagination running wild now. But yeah, I think definitely now the Billington Bulldogs against the Merseyside Mercenary Squad. Absolutely amazing match.
Cool. That is your main event.
The main event. I think I'm gonna go just because I haven't wrestled Sonna, but I've trained with Sonna Dos. I don't know if that's second name.
Yes.
He'll be offended when he hears this. But yeah, I'd go with Sonna up against. I'll probably go against Steve, Brian Adenson, just because every time I've seen him put in that main event spot, he always smashes it every single time. Like, he had the match against Harry McKenny last year at Night of Memories, and he was absolutely amazing match. Like, they blew out the park. He was in a precious scenario where, like, I think that was his first big main event, you know what I mean? And every time he's put in that situation, he knocks it out the park. And I know him, and I've seen the stuff Sonner's done. I've seen the stuff he does just in training, and he's just incredible. So I think them two would put on an amazing match.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I really like Sonner. Brian's Brian. Yeah, he's really fun. I'd love to watch this. Yeah, that's a great card. I'd love to see that card.
It's funny because when we're at Claw with him, sometimes he'll just get his camera. I'm going to record some stuff, so they'll just be there doing these mad suplexes, and then he'll end up doing up and overs and bloody backflips and landing on his feet, and I'm just like, you're meant to train. Do you think I'm going to be able to do that?
Tommy, your card. So your opening match was Harry McKenny versus KC Payne.
Oh, did you watch that match when we had that match, Tom? Were you there?
Yeah.
That's probably my favourite singles match that I've done.
It was unreal. Literally, like, the two of the best matches I've seen are Harry McKenny versus Brian Adenson and Harry McKenny versus KC Payne. Literally, they were absolutely unreal. And it makes my decision of picking up Lewis as one of the best decisions I've ever made, I think. I think I'll be honest, I think I'm probably going to change the entire card. So,
whoa, can you do that?
I think, it would be, I think my first match now would be Ethan Kelly versus Alfie Brooks.
Ooh,
yeah, I think,
that should be a proper horse match, that then too. Flying around the ring.
That's it. And I think, first match of any cards should be getting the crowd going, really sort of, high energetic match and, working closely with both of them. I had a match with Alfie a couple of months ago and, he made me look like a superstar, and Ethan I've worked closely with over the last couple of months as well, and he's such a his ring work is unreal, and the pair of them have got such bright futures ahead of them. And
they're both sickeningly young, aren't they? Both just like 18 or 19. So.
Makes me feel old, all that.
Yeah. I think to myself, like, where I'd be if I started when, I was that age, it's one of them. But yeah, I think that'd be a hell of an opening contest.
That'd be amazing, yeah. Definitely. Your comedy match was the Arcade versus Matt Fox and Gillan Moore.
Wow, yes. I'd probably keep the Arcade in there just because of how good they are at making it. I would put them against the Merseyside Mercenary Squad.
Ooh. They're proper straight men.
yeah, and I think the dynamic of it would be very, very funny. And I know that both Scott and Dan are both, ultimate professionals, and as you say, they're very, in character, they're very straight and narrow, but out of character, they're two of the loveliest blokes you're ever likely to meet. And, I think the dynamic of it would be, sorry to kill your characters there, boys. It would just work, and I just think it'd be a really, really cool dynamic between the pair of them.
Your women's title match was Alexis Falcon versus Stacey Rose.
At the time, it was very limited who I had worked with as far as female talent. So now I would change it to a 5-way match.
Ooh, yeah.
I would have Harley, Stacey, then I would have Lucy Sky,
yes,
Alexis Falcon, and Ruby Evo.
Oh, that'd be fun.
All 5 of them. Elimination match and last woman standing.
all Liverpool girls as well.
Yes.
Scouts and proud.
Yes.
I was much further than Liverpool, to be honest with you, so I like to keep it close to home, but they're all unreal talents, so, I think definitely would be a very, very unique match to have, so.
Yeah, last year I did ask for an intergender match, but I've changed that to a mid-card title match, so your intergender match was Harley Hudson versus Tommy Murphy, but if you want to put a mid-card title in now.
I'll throw a mid-card title in there now, yeah. Especially with Harley being preoccupied with the women's title. Mid-card title, I put Isaac North.
Ooh, yes, I like Isaac North. Whenever he comes out, we get boo, boo all Isaacs to my little Isaac. He's like, no, you can't boo all Isaacs, I'm Isaac. Boo all Isaacs.
Again, to kill his character, he's literally one of the soundest blokes you'd ever meet. And his in-ring work over the last 12 months, well, especially since we've come back, he's been on another level.
First time I met him, he was backstage, just with a board, stapling barbed wire to it, and it was just the most hour. I was just watching somebody just build something. I was like, there's like 15 people out there. Why have you got a barbed wire board?
So I'm actually going to change this because I'm probably going to put him in the hardcore match.
Okay.
So, mid-card title, I've put Charlie Brennan.
Yes.
Again, I'm going to say Joe Kessler.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that.
I think, again, the underdog thing works. And, Joe, again, I've only had the pleasure of working with him a couple of times, but again, he's a really, really nice fella and unreal in the ring, and especially he seems to have found something that he can stick his teeth into. I'm really excited to see where he takes that character.
I always liked the Joe Bolton, but I love Joe Kessler. It's literally put some face paint on, and I'm just like, that's so brilliant. That's it. It just seems to have clicked something in his brain, and this character's brilliant. But yeah.
I think it's similar things to what we're going through at the minute. I've gone from
put a shirt on,
shirt and pants on, and take my hands differently. And last year I was wearing Whitney Strong style pants and
black and yellow, Wiz Khalifa.
In yellow, yeah, and it's something different that really, really takes your passion to another level. And I think that Joe's going through the same thing that we are at the minute, where he's found something that he can really sink his teeth into. And as I say, I can't wait to see where it goes. I anticipate that, because I believe at the last show he called out Terry, is it? So that again, I think it's going to be a hell of a match if that happens. I'll be very excited to see that.
Yeah, they've been teasing this Joe Bolton versus Terry as a feud for that's about 2.5 years, because we didn't have shows for 18 months, but yeah, it's been growing for a long time. You had your hardcore title match was Rabbi Riley versus Riley Jackson.
Oh, brothers.
Yeah, that would have been done, but again, I'm trying to do it with people that are still wrestling.
Yes.
So, I would throw in, as I say, Isaac North, and somebody that I've not worked with, but I met a few months ago, working ring crew for TNT.
Yes.
And Isaac North versus Clint Margera.
Oh, God, this is going to be quite the hardcore match.
I'll be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll be bloody. Is it going to be a hardcore match or a death match?
Yeah, it can be whatever they want it to be. I'm not going to tell them anything. If you've got the balls to do a match like that, I ain't telling you anything. I just think it again, the size of Isaac and Clint's such a creative wrestler in what he does. Again, you couldn't pay me enough to do one of those matches. But, you know, I think as far as like a match would go, you know, pre-interval and then get the glass swinked out, during the interval, I think that's a good way to end the sort of first half of the show.
Definitely. Your tag team title match was the Frontline versus Paradox.
Yes. Again, unfortunately, Jack has decided to hang up his boots, and Paradox, I'm not sure what's going on with them at the minute, so.
They've imploded. I heard they imploded at Britannia at the weekend.
I would say, now, I would do made to last.
Yes. Oh, Isaac's favourite team. So they get picked.
The Billingtons.
Oh, that'd be fun. That's a nice clash of styles as well.
100%.
Your main event was Tommy Jackson versus Brian Aidenson in a Ford pickup horrible death match you described as.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I think I'd ever probably do it if I got the opportunity to beat the crap out of him. It's I'm just trying to think of like, because again, main event, because I've not even put us on it yet, have I? Thinking about it. I'm gonna have to put us on. And again, there could be a number of different teams that I could put us against. There could be, for example, Matt Fox, Mike Rivera, and Brian Aidenson, as the new Fox pack, which would be pretty cool. I could even throw us in there against a hybrid team, and I think, which I'm probably going to do. I'm going to say Violent Gentleman Society versus Brian Aidenson, Connor Klein, and I'm going to have to throw Lance in there, aren't I?
That'd be fun.
Otherwise, he'll piss and moan. You know, I'll probably get a text off him later saying, why didn't you include me? So, yeah, I'll go with that. I think, again, those three are the ultimate professionals. Again, I had a match with Connor a few weeks back, and we just beat the crap out of each other. And it was, being in the ring with him is, again, it was like, I went to the back after the match and I was sore, but I just felt so comfortable, you know, being in the ring with him, and it just clicked. And it was probably one of my favourite matches I've ever been a part of. It was just great. As I say, I wrestled Lance on the weekend, and that was fantastic. Again, very
Lance's face, wasn't he? He said it was weird.
What? And again, because it was a family, but it was like a Fontins.
Yes.
So again, the dynamic of it was very, very unique. I've never been in that type of environment before.
The thing of like the commentary was like live, like as in like, you know, he was on the mic commentating the entire time. So I watched like the ending towards the match, and like the commentators there, Lance, like, Lance, what? The blue coats, and they had no idea what they were doing, as far as like calling moves and stuff. And initially they put me out first, because I think they got the order mixed up, and they thought I was the face, so I started snarling everybody. We should boo this guy, because I stared right at them and I was like, no, you need to boo me, mate. And I compare it to, if you ever remember Dancing on Ice, and they just call out like the dead strange names for the different moves they did. That's literally what it was like. It was quite unique in that respect. But yeah, it was good, you know, as I say, the match was great and smooth like butter. It was completely fine. You know, they're the type of people I want to work with, where it's easy to work and not stressed about things. It should just be that easy. And I think that when you have that sort of 50-50 conversation of, you know, what you need to do as a wrestler, it makes things 10 times easier. And, you know, as I say, the last few weeks I've been feeling probably as confident as I ever have. And it's thanks to the guys that I'm in the ring with that's making me feel that way. And, you know, I'm really, really excited to, as I say, for December now, can't get soon enough. But yeah, I would say EGS versus Connor Klein, Brian Aidenson, and Lance Rivera will be, you know.
Oh, that'd be fun there. I'd love
and we're going over.
Obviously, yeah. It'll be a squash. Bury them.
So where can you got the Wrestle Island on the 19th of December? Where else can people see you in the near future?
Well, for me, I'm hopefully going to be on Superstar Pro on the 11th of December.
The crowning the first champion in a Rumble.
They are indeed, and as I say, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it's me. But yeah, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to see Christy and Casey also in there with me. And
I'm open to it happening. You know, I'll go anywhere.
Definitely, that's all.
I'm sure it'll happen at some point. But as I say, it's that's where you can catch us for now.
Yeah, and at Wrestle Island, he's been hinting at trio titles for a few years, so and he had 2 trios matches at the last show, so hopefully, maybe some sort of a trios title tournament in the near future, I'm hoping.
And if that's the case, there's only going to be one after.
Look no further.
Yeah, there's going to be no other option. We are going to be the first Wrestle Island 6-man tag team champion.
Definitely. Alright, before we go, do you want to promote any social media you have?
Glad you go first, Tommy.
So all of my social media handles are Tommy Jackson PW, and that's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Oh, nice and simple. Keeps the same name. That's a smart thing. Yeah, I'm the same as you. Mine's VKC Payne on all platforms. So you got Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. VKC Payne.
Cool. I'll put links in the description below the interview. So I've really enjoyed speaking to you today. I'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, that's been good.
Hopefully we can get the third member with us next time.
That's what we're doing. We're building it up. You see, we're building it up. So you get the first member, then you get 2, then you get the 3 of us.
Yes.
Well, I think an interesting time would be after the Wrestle Island show. We'll see what type of conversation we can have.